Hello everybody, welcome to the Classic Control and my new series, the only series that I've got on my channel at the moment. I've done the donkey work, so you don't have to. The aim of this series is to provide gaming tips and tutorials, so you don't have to spend hours and hours trying to work out how to do certain sections of games. I'll have done it for you, and you can just crack on and try it yourself. And mainly so you don't waste plenty of time with results like this. Right, first things first. Head to the Nero camp just offset from the Sawmill itself. It should be relatively safe in the daytime. The hordes generally congregate within the buildings around the Sawmill, so you should be able to mosey on around without too much trouble. Just be careful if you go into the Nero cabins, the usual rules apply with the speaker sets. Once in, go check all the tents out as well. In and around them you should find plenty of materials which will help you make those valuable explosives and traps that you can craft. And by Lord, you're going to need them for this one. From the Nero camp, then head to the other side of the Sawmill itself, without crashing if you can. And over in that location is the road bridge that spans the river just outside of the Sawmill. Try and get your bike as close to the camp as you can without alerting any of the hordes inside. I wouldn't take your motorbike beyond the fence that are parked outside here. And what it means as well is when you save the game, if you die, your motorbike will generally be in that spawn point and usually relocates back on the road on the bridge just above the river. The second thing that you will notice now is that I have waited until night time. The reason for this is that I generally found it to be much easier to complete because the hordes then congregated in two places outside of the Sawmill, which made it easier to attack them. One was just into this little bit outside near the crashed trains. The second one is in this building you can see in the distance there that's lit up. There's Horde inside there. Because the Horde is located in two different sides, what this will mean is that they will attack from two different locations when you set them off. What I found by doing it this way was that once I'd started bombing the first section of hordes, the second horde was a lot easier to control through using some traps, which I will show you. But once again, before you decide to go and attack or start laying traps, go and collect as much material as you can from inside the buildings around the Sawmill, and because the horde is now outside, you can also then go into the Sawmill itself where there's plenty of materials located inside too. Once you've collected everything you can, follow the decking area all the way around until you reach this collection of wood here. Make your way around to the lit area just in the background around the fenced area. And what we're going to do then is trap this area. For Horde number 2, this is the pathway that they will start to come down once you start attacking Horde number 1. So the aim here is with as many traps as you've got, whether that be proximity mines or remote traps themselves, start lining this pathway, various locations. Just make sure they're spread out enough that one bomb doesn't explode the other bomb. So there you can see I've laid 3 remote mines and 1 proximity mine, which is all I had at the time. That should be enough to make some kind of damage into the second horde, and also keep them controlled because explosions attract them back to that part where the bomb just exploded. From there, make your way up here. Across this little roof. Up onto the first section of roof. Don't attack from there, you will get spotted and they'll just chase you. And the aim, like my previous video, is to stay hidden for as long as you possibly can and do as much damage as you can in that time. You can pick anything, there's no real rhyme or reason as to what you want to pick first. As long as you're back just far enough on the apex of the roof that they can't see you, start throwing some bombs in. Now, again, patience is the key. Don't throw too many. Otherwise, they will start to see you if you start throwing things in quick succession. Don't go too far to the edge. Again, you'll get spotted. Once you've thrown a few of these, you'll start seeing them go into the frenzied phase as they start burning or exploding. If you want a bit of respite, go on the roof. You can have a good view of the other horde from this area as well, and then just drop down when you need to do and start doing the same again. If you want to congregate them back into one single area using a tractor, this will pull them back into a single area, which makes it easy for you to attack them from. Once you've had a few goes though at the first horde, have a look to the right hand side and you can see the second horde now starting to move along the pathway that you've just trapped. This is where your crowd control will start to come in. Detonate any remote traps or whatever you've got down there, and try to take out as many of the horde as you possibly can. At this point, after attacking Horde 1 and Horde number 2, I've basically got the horde down to halfway. One thing I have found with the hordes is that you can't kill them all. It's like certain number of the horde have protected status, and you can't shoot them or anything like that or they won't explode. The bomb only does a certain percentage of damage to the horde number itself on each attempt. You can, however, if you want to, as long as you've got a silencer on your gun, take out a few stragglers here and there. This part of this tutorial is very much about crowd management and making sure you keep an eye on both sections of the horde. Ensure that you stay on the right side of the roof as to where the horde could possibly see you from. Try and work out some lines of sight and make sure that you're not in them. Once you get the horde down to about halfway, you can make your way all the way back to your motorcycle, which is the important point of moving it. You can then save your game, which means that if you do die, you restart the game from the point where you've just saved it, which is with the horde halfway down. Now obviously if you want to go lower than that you can, but you can't save the game if the horde are chasing you. You have to do it when they're not aware of your presence. Once you've saved the game, go back to the mill, head up to the roof and carry on doing what you were doing. The other thing I would say is when you get down to about halfway, or more importantly when second horde is on the move and making their pathway round to where the first horde is, which is where they go to, if at that point you're down to halfway, which is good, and you can leave and go and save the game at the motorcycle, by the time that you get back, horde number 2 is in this little pit with horde number 1, or whatever remains of horde number 1. Which means you don't then have to do crowd control on horde number 2, and you can just concentrate on the single collective of hive mind down in the pit. If at any point you see a horde breaking up the stairs like that, that generally means you've alerted them, and game over. But because you've saved your game, it shows here, you can just head all the way back with the horde halfway down and continue the attack and try not to make a mistake. It will happen on occasion that some of the horde do actually manage to get into line of sight territory, and they will alert the rest of it, then you will end up in a chase. If you do end up in a chase, climb up the roof and then climb up this roof, head over this gantry here into the, whatever it is, fertilizer tower, and you'll see the horde come up here. Important, and this is the main reason for getting rid of horde number 2 to pull them into the horde number 1 section. If you end up on this gantry and horde number 2 is in the original starting point, they will climb at the other side of the gantry and you'll be surrounded on this platform here. If horde number 2 have amalgamated with horde number 1, their pathway is up above the sawmill exactly the same way that you climb up there, and they will come down this gantry. It gives you a means of escape behind you if you want to do, as you will see in 2 seconds, once you start getting overwhelmed on the platform by the horde. If, of course, you've got some traps, you can put some traps on this platform and detonate them when they start running across. As you can see there, 2 of the original horde did actually come up that way, but you can end up with the whole horde number 2 coming up that way if you've not cleared as many of them as you can and got them to amalgamate with the first. Now there's a little bit more than what I really wanted to end up in a chase with, and at one point I did think I wasn't going to make it here. But somehow, after throwing some things pretty much everything that I had, and I managed to not set myself on fire, I actually did manage to clear the remainder of the horde here. So it is possible, even with that, I say little amount, but that little amount on the bar is still quite significant number of zombies chasing you. So that's it. That's how I did the sawmill. Of all the methods that I did try in various locations to try and trap them and funnel them through areas I could control them, because there was 2 hordes, I found that this was the most effective method by actually just letting them naturally do what they're going to do. They only do this at night, otherwise they're in 2 different buildings, and as soon as you alert horde number 1, horde number 2, or vice versa, they will come charging in from a different. So by doing it this way, it meant that I could effectively, 1, eliminate as much of horde number 2 as possible. And the second thing was, it meant that I was in crowd control, and I knew exactly which way they were going to come once they started to swarm. I hope this helps you. If it does, please subscribe to the channel, leave me some comments, or even tell me how you did it if you managed to do it without doing it this way. And if you like my content, please subscribe. There will be more stuff going up. I don't know what will be next. Tales of the Shire, possibly, once that's out. Because I'm a hobbit at heart and a cowboy. Cowboy hobbit. There you go. Don't know what one of those would look like, but I am one. So maybe one day you'll see. Anyhow, that's enough for today. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.